Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's $487 million action film hits Hulu next month. 2005's hit action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith is heading to a new streaming home next month. Per Hulu, director Doug Liman's Mr. and Mrs. Smith starring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie will be joining the platform's ever-expanding streaming catalog. The move will take place on February 1st, marking another streaming platform on which the breakout hit feature film is available while fans await the upcoming second season of Amazon Studios' series of the same name. Mr. and Mrs. Smith starred Pitt and Jolie as the film's eponymous John and Jane Smith, a seemingly happily married couple whose marriage of more than half a decade is on the verge of collapse. Despite their apparent day jobs as construction executives and tech consultants, the pair are actually highly skilled mercenaries who have always worked for rival organizations completely unbeknownst to one another. When the truth comes out after the pair both receive orders to carry out the same botched assassination, they are assigned to take out one another instead, setting off an explosive action epic that destroys almost everything in their path, all while bringing them back together as a couple. Mr. and Mrs. Smith earned $480 million. Upon its release, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was met with middling to positive reviews from critics, many of whom praised the film's direction and acting while deriding a relatively weak script overall. Still, Mr. and Mrs. Smith managed to bring in well over $480 million during its original theatrical run on a budget of only $110 million, cementing its success at the box office. The film's success also led to the development of a potential spin-off series in 2007, though the project was ultimately shelved, with the franchise lying dormant until the release of Amazon Studios' own Mr. and Mrs. Smith series in 2024. Starring Donald Glover and Maya Erskine as John and Jane, Amazon Studios' Mr. and Mrs. Smith premiered on February 2nd, 2024, and immediately became a hit with audiences. While the series was officially renewed for a second season just a few months after its release, rumors began circulating that its leading duo would not be returning for their respective roles. In December, Erskine responded to those rumors, stating, "It was funny when the article came out proclaiming that we're not in it because there was no announcement made, but series creator Francesca Sloan said it best. She talked about how it's sort of like Christmas. Don't open the presents until it's Christmas Day. You don't need to peek inside." Erskine continued, "I'm trying to follow along in their footsteps because I have a big mouth, and if I could, I would just say everything right now, but I can't. I don't want to ruin it."